Pattie Boyd didn't chase the spotlight. It hunted her. Born March 17, 1944 in Taunton, Somerset. She arrived to parents expecting a boy named Michael. No girl's name ready. Her mother, Diana, 17, met Colin Jock Boyd, a 23-year-old RAF pilot in 1942. Their age gap sowing early tensions. Pattie's childhood was a map of upheaval. West Linton, Scotland in 1946, Guildford, Surrey in 1947, then Kenya from 1948 to 1953, where her father's RAF postings landed them amid the Mau Mau uprising's bloodshed. Over 11,000 died. Britain spent $55 million crushing the rebellion. At her Nakuru boarding school, Pattie, just 8, lived in a police state haze. Operation Anvil's 1954 arrests a grim backdrop. Home for a 1952 half-term, she learned her parents had divorced in silence, leaving her to piece it together. That same year, her mother introduced a stranger, Bobby Gamer Jones, as her new father. The shock was numbing, war and loss blurring into one. Kenya's violence shaped Pattie's early years, but England's strict Catholic convent schools, St. Agnes and St. Michael's in East Grinstead, then St. Martha's in Hadley Wood, tried to mold her. Nuns preached marriage over ambition. Find a husband, they drilled. Pattie, defiant, hid Vogue under her bed, dreaming of fashion's rebellion. Passing only 3 O-levels by 1961 wasn't failure. The system never gave her a shot. At 15, she returned to England, settling in Wimbledon. By 1962, at 17, she was a shampoo girl at Elizabeth Arden's Bond Street salon, earning $3 weekly, washing rich women's hair. A Honey magazine client spotted her, urging her to model. Hesitant but broke, Pattie tried it. Months later, her face graced Vogue covers, her black eyeliner, scolded by Arden, defining the 1960s bold look. Home wasn't a haven. Bobby Gamer Jones, her stepfather, lost his business, plunging the family into debt. Worse, he was cruel, shouting, sometimes beating Pattie, her sister Jenny, and brother. Diana, cowed, couldn't intervene. At 17, Pattie fled to London, chasing freedom in a city pulsing with music, art, and style. Her 5'7" frame, 35-23-35 measurements, blue eyes, and light hair landed her at Cherry Marshall's agency in 1963. Early catalog shoots paid $5.08, but by 1964, David Bailey's test shoot, Wide Eyes, Soft Bangs, made her a sensation. Mary Quant declared women should emulate Pattie, not Marlene Dietrich. Her A Hard Day's Night cameo that year, a schoolgirl on a train, sparked a whirlwind. George Harrison, smitten, proposed jokingly on set. "Will you marry me?" She laughed, citing her boyfriend, photographer Eric Swain. 10 days later, at Twickenham Studios, she ditched Swain for dinner with George. On January 21, 1966, at 21, she wed him, stepping into Beatlemania's chaos. Pattie's modeling soared. In 1965, she earned $20-30 daily, double the average $15 weekly wage. 3 Vogue covers in 1969, shoots for Elle, Vanity Fair, and Honey, and campaigns for L'Oreal, $50-100 per ad, made her a star. She fronted Mary Quant's miniskirts in Woman's Mirror, 8 inches above the knee, dubbed vulgar until they became iconic. Quant's mantra, "Good taste is death, vulgarity is life," fit Pattie's vibe. In 1966, she walked Ossie Clark's Mayfair show, wearing the 25 hoopla dress, a cut-circle marvel, alongside black models, a British fashion first. Norman Parkinson's 1967 Vogue shoot, blending Indian motifs with Western flair, fetched her $75. Prints sold for $3,000 at 2024 auctions. By 1968, at $100 daily, she was Britain's top model, wielding heavy eyeliner, wigs, and painted makeup. A Paris shoot with Bailey, all yellow, set trends. She and Jenny opened Jennifer Juniper, a Chelsea boutique named after Donovan's song, selling art and antiques. In 1969, a $5,000 Revlon campaign for the Ultra collection, seen by 25 million women, spiked sales 15%. Pattie's pale lips and bold eyes weren't just a look, they were a movement. But fame came with chains. George, obsessed with privacy, asked her to quit modeling. Fans harassed her, hating her Beatles link. Her 1963 Smith's Crisps ad, directed by a young Ridley Scott, and a 1965 cameo in The Knack and How to Get It, Palme d'Or winner, showed her acting chops. But Tonight, Let's All Make Love in London, 1967, a raw documentary of 1960s counterculture, captured her at the scene's heart. She wrote for 16 magazine, schooling American teens on Carnaby Street trends. In 1968, she followed George to Rishikesh, India, photographing the Beatles' retreat with the Maharishi. Her 16 images, 12 unseen until 2018, caught John, Paul, George, and Ringo unguarded. Auctioned by Christie's in 2024, they became her photography debut. George's 1969 Abbey Road track, Something, written for her, topped charts with 150 covers, Frank Sinatra called it the greatest love song, yet in 1996 George claimed it wasn't about Pattie, a jab that stung. Cracks widened. George's spiritual dive left Pattie sidelined. In October 1970, Eric Clapton's unsigned letter addressed to Dearest Lel begged if she loved George. She showed it to George thinking it a fan note. Clapton's call clarified his obsession. His 1970 affair with Pattie's sister Paula, moving her into his mansion and feeding her heroin, ended in Paula's overdose. George suggested a double date to swap partners. Clapton refused. In 1972, George learned of Clapton's Layla, inspired by Pattie, and summoned him to Friar Park for a guitar duel, not fists, as actor John Hurt witnessed. George's affairs with Ringo's wife Maureen, Ronnie Wood's wife Chrissy, and others like Charlotte Martin pushed Pattie to Clapton in 1973. When George claimed he needed concubines like Krishna, she saw herself as a prop. On July 4, 1974, George told Clapton, "You can have her." Their 1977 divorce ended a love eroded by betrayal. Pattie married Clapton on March 27, 1979, in Tucson, Arizona with George present, a surreal nod to their fractured bond. The media spun it as rock's romantic tale, but reality was grim. Clapton's alcoholism fueled rages. He smashed guitars, furniture, and some nights kicked Pattie, leaving bruises. "I prayed he'd pass out," she later wrote. For 8 years, fear was her shadow. Desperate for a child, she spent $30,000 on IVF, enduring painful treatments. Unbeknownst to her, Clapton fathered Ruth with Yvonne Kelly in 1985 and Connor with Lori Del Santo in 1986. He hid Ruth until 1988, when media leaks forced his confession. When Pattie asked about other children, his silence crushed her. His 1986 suggestion to work out life with Del Santo and Connor, while Pattie grieved her infertility, was a betrayal too far. Connor's 1991 death, falling from a 53rd floor window at 412, inspired tears in heaven. But for Pattie, it underscored her empty dreams. In 1999, Clapton's interview admission that he forced sex on Pattie, claiming her body as mine, shocked fans. "People walked on eggshells," he said, admitting his control. No legal fallout followed, but the truth was bare. Pattie left in 1987, divorcing in 1989, citing adultery and unreasonable behavior, a polite mask for abuse, rape, and emotional ruin. Clapton later confessed he saw her as a trophy to steal from Harrison, not a love. Her 2007 memoir, Wonderful Tonight, a bestseller, detailed the violence, addiction, and betrayal. She revealed Clapton's overdose threats to lure her from George, her nights hiding from his drunken wrath. The book, updated in 2012, exposed her $20,000 therapy journey, trauma counseling, CBT, support groups, after drinking and tranquilizers numbed her pain. Diaries from 1987-1989 showed a woman nearly broken, a shadow under two selfish icons. Photography saved her. Starting in the 1960s, Pattie bought a camera with modeling cash, learning from shoot pros. It became her refuge from Beatlemania's cage. Her images, George, Clapton, Mick Jagger, Jerry Hall, captured rock's raw pulse. In 1990, she debuted at galleries. Her 2006 show Through the Eye of a Muse drew crowds, prints selling for $5,000. Her 2005 traveling exhibit, My Life in Pictures, with 300 rare photos, toured Europe and the US, earning $500,000. Beatles' India shots, Clapton crafting Layla, George penning something. Each print fetched $3,000. By 2012, she joined the Royal Photographic Society, her art eclipsing her Muse label. In 2015, at 71, Pattie married Rod Weston, a 61-year-old property developer she'd known since the 1980s. Their Chelsea Old Town Hall wedding, her in a silver dress, him in a matching suit, was quiet, grounded. Rod, her partner since 1994, was kind, comfortable, strong, she told The Times. They settled in West Sussex, far from rock's chaos. Her 2022 book, My Life in Pictures, paired 300 pages of photos, diaries, and artifacts like Layla's album art with her story as an artist. A signing tour cemented her reclaiming her narrative. At 80, Pattie's not fading, she's strategizing. Her March 2024 Christie's auction, selling 112 items for $3.6 million, 7 times estimates, was a masterstroke. Love letters from George, 15,000, 1982 lyrics, 50,000, and Layla artwork, 40,000, 60,000, funded women's charities. As she told Vogue, "No more old boxes," she said, redirecting pain into purpose. X posts in 2024 buzzed with honor Pattie power, fans praising her empowerment pivot. Her 2025 plan, per The Guardian, includes a digital archive of unseen photos, launching via a Patreon-style platform to share Beatles-era negatives with subscribers, targeting $100,000 annually. A third book, Teased in a November 2024 BBC interview, will focus on her photography craft, not ex-husbands. Aiming for 2026 release, she's mentoring young female photographers through a Sussex Arts grant, funded by auction proceeds, to nurture voices, not muses. Health-wise, Pattie's arthritis and 2023 hip surgery slow her, but she's active gardening with Rod. Per closer, her mental clarity shines. Therapy healed old wounds. Financially, residuals from Wonderful Tonight, $2 million globally. Photo sales and auction cash secure her $20 million net worth, per Forbes estimates. She's dodging nostalgia traps. No Beatles reunion panels, no Clapton tell-alls. Instead, she's curating virtual galleries with a 2025 London exhibit planned, per ArtNet. X debates over her 2024 claim, George as her true love despite Clapton's abuse, sparked 50,000 likes. Fans split on her forgiving Harrison's flaws. George showed love till the end, she told BBC, citing his 2001 visits before his death. Clapton's shadow lingers, but she's outrun it. Pattie's strategy is clear: control the narrative, fund good, and create. Her charity focus, supporting domestic abuse survivors via Refuge, per 2024 Telegraph reports, channels her past into advocacy. A $200,000 donation from auction funds aid shelters, with plans for a 2025 fundraiser gala. She's no rock widow. She's a trailblazer who turned pain into art. From a shampoo girl to Vogue's face, from Beatlemania's pawn to photography's queen, Pattie Boyd at 80 isn't just surviving, she's rewriting her story one frame at a time.